your story started at 2018 in relation to this.
Hmm.
When do you actually? That was your diagnosis, is that correct? That
That's
date.
correct. Yeah.
And what happens next for you?
I got to a point where everything in my life at the time just seemed to be a mess. I'd come out of another dysfunctional relationship. I was suicidal. I thought that there was absolutely no hope for me. And when I was diagnosed, my team suggested that I start a process called dialectical behavioral therapy, which is not cognitive behavioral therapy. Dialectical is more a core mindfulness process with emotional regulation, interpersonal relationship building, and really just a mindfulness practice on how to cope with things better, avoiding triggers, identifying things, being able to label how you're feeling and be okay with it. So it was a journey. The counselor said to me at the time that if he could promise that within a year of doing this, I would be living a life worth living, would I go ahead? And I had absolutely nothing to lose. So I dived straight in. I dived in for a year. I did DBT every week, did a lot of work on that. And I just find even today, what it has done for me is, it just makes me show up differently in the world, and it makes me manage my relationships and life a whole lot better. But it is constant work. With borderline, you can't ever change the fact that you're borderline. Understanding that you are is, and accepting that you are, which is one thing in dialectical behavioral therapy they teach you, is radical acceptance. And that is understanding that you may not be happy or like what is going on, but it is happening, so you can't change it. So yeah, I just set about doing that and working very, very hard in it. I also have a process of which I worked a lot with my clients in coaching, which is a value system. So it's learning to understand who you are, and what you stand for. Um, and then also just in my book, I talk about how I manage on a daily basis. There's certain things that I need to do in order to make sure that I'm okay. For instance, I need to ensure I get 7 hours sleep a night, that I eat healthy, that I have movement, that I get into nature, that I connect with people that are meaningful for me and don't expect anything from me in particular, but just support me in what my endeavors are, or support me in life. So it is a multifaceted recovery story, but it does take a lot of work. So you can't ever change the fact that you have borderline personality, but you can arrest the traits of it so that your life can become more manageable.